Hello and welcome to another Beard Clipper video. In this video I'm going to show you how I went about building an enclosure for my resin printers to keep dust off and also to keep the temperature constant, as I was moving the printers out of a room which I heat regularly down into my workshop with all of my woodworking machines and without any heat in the room at all. And Bulgaria does get cold in the winter. It gets down to multiple negatives below freezing in the winter, and just generally with the amount of the thickness of the walls and the insulation that we have here, it keeps very constant temperature down there, but the constant temperature is not warm. So yeah, I wasn't really able to print at that ambient temperature. It's been a very successful experiment. Just to give you a little bit of a spoiler, it worked very, very well. There's links below to the products that I've used. I won't get any money, I'm not affiliated. This is just me trying to help out and give you the benefit of my experience, and hopefully this will inspire or encourage you to maybe do something else if you've got an unheated shed or garage. This is a really good, cheaper way of making sure your resin printers can stay out of your living quarters where the smells can become annoying, but also stay warm and at a good temperature to operate. So I hope this is helpful. Let me know in the comments below if this is, if you've done something similar. I know a few people have tried this. I've talked to a few people about it as well. So yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. But otherwise, please enjoy the video and thank you very much for watching. Well, after several weeks of effort, the workshop is finally getting close to completed. This is my bench, which is going to have my 3D printers on it. Back here you can see a box. This is actually the enclosure for the Prusa, which I'm not going to do now because I need to be a lot more rested and spend a bit more time putting that together. But what I am going to do is I'm going to put the grow tent and heater and what have you for the resin printers, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the resin printers here and then get them moved down from upstairs, and then I can focus on the Prusa, and I can also make some more space upstairs for myself because the printers do take a lot of space in room 13. This unit here will have my resins and other things in it, and I've also got a lot of storage underneath where I can put more things. I'm very pleased. We've varnished this multiple times, as you can see. It's going to be very hard wearing and hopefully be nice and easy to clean if I have any resin spills. So there we are. So this evening I'm going to spend a bit of time putting this tent together, and yeah, I'll bring you back when it's done. Well, it's the next morning, and that's much bigger than I expected it to be, but it's awesome. It went together really well. I'm very pleased. So if you are looking to put something like this together, maybe get a smaller one, not quite so high. I could probably have done with half the height and the width are the same. And I might actually look, because this could be very useful in the garden anyway, I might actually look to see if there's a smaller one in the future. However, for now, this is going to be good. But the problem I've got is, if I lift that down, you can see that I have two lights on the wall there. There we are. And this is so high that it goes up above those lights. Now, I wasn't expecting it to be this tall, and I didn't plan for that. So what I'm going to do now is this light here needs to come down. I'm going to basically take it down tape off the ends of the cables and tie it back up to this ducting and think about where I might want to put that light at some other time. I think that there's actually just a junction box or a little kind of splitter here. I did this wiring many years ago. But what I need to do is move that one out of the way, because then this can fit in here. I can keep that light, and I can basically fit this fully onto the shelf, onto the bench. So I couldn't do this last night, obviously, because I didn't want to work in the dark, and all of my lights are on the same ring. So if I turn the thing off at the box, I'd have been in darkness last night. So I've waited for this morning. I'm just going to quickly get that done, and then we'll lift this in place, and I'll show you the controller and the heater that I've got, and then I can start to move my printers down. So yeah, big success. As I say, just it's huge, really huge, and I didn't expect it to be quite that tall. Well, that's done and in place. It didn't take me very long. I was actually able to remove the cable, which is good, from up here. They did just have a couple of joint blocks. I'm speaking like Gollum. So yeah, so what I'm now going to do is take you over there. We'll have a look at the rest of the parts. So the heater and the little thermometer controlled plug. And then I'll get my printers set up in there, and I'll wrap this up. I'm very pleased to have got this done. It is a beautiful day out there. See if this will work. There we are. Look at that, absolutely beautiful early on a Sunday morning. And yeah, well, anyway, enough of that. Let's have a look at these heaters and plugs. So what we have here is a little ceramic heater, which is only 500 watts, and the Inkbird Smart Home Smart Life plug, which you can set for as a thermometer control power. And I will link to the website that I was reading that was suggested to me by, I can't remember, one of the guys on the Paint All the Minis Discord linked me to it, because I was talking about this as an idea, and so I decided to give it a go. So I will link to that in the description below, and it describes how to do this, and I'll also put a link to where I bought these. They're just from Amazon, sadly, but you can pick up any small heater and any thermostatically controlled plug. And the idea is you drop the probe in, and you hang the probe kind of central and between any printers, so it's not going to be near the heater. And then you have the heater plugged into this, so when it gets to a certain lower bound, it turns on, and when it gets to a certain upper bound, it turns off. And that's the idea. And that means that your enclosure will stay at a constant temperature. Now, the reason I need that is this workshop is not heated, and we do get down into quite substantial minuses. Not dreadful, but quite substantial minuses here in winter. And even though right now it's warm enough to stand in here when I'm wearing open-toed sandals because I'm crazy, it never really gets down to freezing inside because we've got very good insulation, but it certainly gets down to 10, 11 degrees probably in here in the winter, maybe even lower than 10. And so that would be too cold if I were to be running the resin printers. These were pretty cheap. They didn't cost a lot of money. The main thrust of this is keeping dust off. So the main reason for the tent is keeping dust off, and these are just so that I have utility from the printers during the winter. So what I'm going to do now is shift everything down, put everything in place, plug everything in, bring the UPS, and then we'll have a look and see what the actual setup looks like, and I'll give it a test. And yeah, pretty exciting though. I'm very pleased that it's here, and it's so cool to have my workshop to a stage where I actually have a bench to put my printers on. So this has been running for a little while now, and I'm really pleased with it. I've got my UPS here just in case the power goes off, which powers on the top has a plug for the heater and has the two actual printers plugged into it. And I've got a print going now. You can see in there I've got my Saturn running. There's the heater. I've only just turned the heater on. It's hovering about 20 degrees, but that's fine. It does get nice and warm in here, nice and toasty, and since I've been doing this I've not had any failures. I've also got my Mars 2, but I'm not printing for that at the moment. One thing I found is you do want to store your next up resin in here, and also because it's so cold, I mean it's properly freezing outside, I've been wanting to store the actual plates in here and keep them warmed up as well, and that's really helped. So zip it up and leave it to it. There we are. And in about 3 hours that print will be completed, and hopefully it'll be another success. It is huge though. It could have been half the height and that would have been absolutely fine for me, but they don't sell one like that I could find, so there we are. Anyway, that is the final analysis. It works, so yeah, pretty happy with that. And can I recommend this as a solution? Yes, I can. This is an unheated room. It's been very, very cold, -4, -5 degrees outside. Probably when I first turned the heater on yesterday, it was about 7 or 8 degrees in here. And it's keeping it regularly up about 20-25 degrees inside the tent. And I'm having some very good success. So there we are. Well, there we are, as I said, a successful experiment, and I've now been using it for a month or two, and yeah, it's working really well. I have had to pump the heat up a little bit towards the end of winter when it started to get quite cold. Funny enough, our temperatures drop off quite a lot at the end, so I did have to pump the heat up a bit then, but that's fine. I had one failure, increased the heat, everything's been rocking and rolling since then, so yeah, very, very happy. As I said in the intro, let me know in the comments below what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I reply to every single comment I receive. So yeah, don't be shy, do say hello. And thank you very much for watching. And as I always say, and I really mean it, please do stay healthy, stay safe, and stay well.